All right, today we are going to be talking about variability. And we do have three vocabulary words. The first one is variability, which is the spread of values in a data set. And a data set just means like a set of numbers. Our next one is quartile. It says three values, one of which is the median, that divide a data set into fourths. Okay? And we'll have like our first quartile, our second quartile, I guess, would be like half or your median, and then the third quartile would be on your upper end of your data set. And finally, box and whisker plot is a graph that displays the highest and lowest quarters of data as whiskers, the middle two quarters of the data as a box, and finally the median. All right, let's take a look at this table right here. Okay, it says the table below summarizes a veterinarian's records for kitten litters born in a given year. Now, if you look, what this table is saying is, look, the litter size is 2, and how many times did we have litters with the size of 2? Well, one time. That's how we get all these numbers down here. Okay, that's how come we have 1, 2, and then 6 3s, and then 8 4s, and then 11 5s, and then 1 6. Okay, that's what that means. Okay, that's how we read this table. Now, it's cut into sections like this, or it's placed down there in sections like that, so we can actually see the numbers. Okay, they've arranged them in order from least to greatest because we know that's what we have to do if we're going to find the median. Okay, now when they did that, the median is 4 right here, which is, they could call that our second quartile. Okay, now the first quartile, or the lower quartile, okay, is the median of this blue circle right here, the lower half. It's the median of the lower half of numbers. Okay, so the first thing we do is find our median, which is 4. Okay, we have that right there. That's our median. That's our middle number. Once we found the middle number, then we're going to look at all the numbers smaller than 4, or smaller than our median, I guess I should say, okay, which is our lower half. Then we're going to find the median of that lower half of numbers, the middle number in that lower half of numbers, which that's how we got 3, okay, because you could, we could cross these off to find the median just like we did yesterday, in which case we end up with 3, okay. Now that 3 would be called our first quartile or our lower quartile. That's our lower quartile. Now, next, we're going to do the same thing using the upper half of the numbers, and that's going to be the third quartile or the upper quartile. Okay. Now, and again, we do the same thing. We're going to take a look at all of the numbers that are larger than our median, and then we're going to find the middle number of that set of numbers. Which is 5. Okay, so now we have the median of our lower numbers, the median, and the median of our higher numbers. That's the information that we need in order to make a box and whisker plot. If you don't have all those numbers, you can't make one. In fact, we actually are going to need 2 other numbers. We're going to need the smallest number and also the largest number, which we know that the smallest number is 2 and the largest number is 6. Those are all the numbers that we're going to need to create a box and whisker plot. Now, finding those numbers, that's the hard part. I say the hard part. That's the part that requires the most work. It's not hard if you can find the median. If you can't find the median, then, yeah, this is going to be real hard. Okay? So, we have our numbers here. So, let's move on to see if, to actually make our box and whisker plot, which, let me see, our smallest number is 2, our largest number is 6, our lower quartile is 3, median is 4, upper quartile is 5. So let's move on to, well, find all that stuff ourselves. I was hoping we were going to be able to make a box and whisker plot with those values, but I guess not. We're going to use these, and we're going to make our box and whisker plot here in just a moment, hopefully. Now, this one tells us to find our first and third quartiles. Okay, we have to understand how to do that before we can start making the graph. Now, the first thing we have to do, says right here, is what? That's right, we need to put them in order from least to greatest. Okay, so what's our smallest number up here? Yep. Then what? Yeah, 21. Oh, holy moly. Holy moly, I'm going to write 24. Okay, so I got 74, 75, and 83. Okay, so now once I have that, now let's find my median. What is my median? Let me see. Yeah, 21 is my median. Okay, that's my median. Now, once I have my median, now I can go back here and find my first quartile and my third quartile. Now remember, how do we find the quartiles? Yeah, it's the median of these two data sets that I circled in green. So the median for this guy right here is 15, and the median for this guy right here, 75. Well, once you understand it, yeah, it's easy. I agree with you on that. So the first quartile is 15, and the third quartile is 75. And our median, if it asks us for a median, would be 21. Okay? That's not that hard, is it? No. No, it's not that hard. We're about to get to the plot. Well, if there's two medians, which we're going to do one like that, but if there is two medians, then remember you have to add those two numbers up, divide by 2. We have to find the average of them. And the same way on here, like if we had 4 numbers on this lower set of data right here, then the two middle numbers we have to add up, divide by 2 in order for us to find the quartiles. Okay? All right, let's take a look at our next one. And in fact, I think this one is probably one that we're going to have to find the average. Let's take a look. Again, let's put these guys in order. Our smallest one looks like it's 61. Next is 63. 75. You guys don't have to write this one down. We just did one like this, so just pay attention. 77. Yep, 2 79s. 88, and 99. Now, let's find our median, which, let me see, if we started to cross these guys off, yeah, there's 2 right here, the 77 and the 79. So what is our median going to be for that? Add them up, divide by 2, but I can tell by looking at them, since one of them is 77, one of them is 79, the median, or the average is going to be 78, yeah. So, our middle number is 78. Now, I need to take a look at these guys right here to determine my quartiles. Well, again, this one is kind of the same way, because I had to find the average of these two guys to get 78. Well, to find my median for these guys, I'm going to have to add those up, divide by 2. To add those guys up, divide by 2. Well, what is 63 plus 75 divided by 2? It is not 100.5. Let's try again. 63 plus 75 gives us 138. Divided by 2 is 69. So I know that my lower quartile here is going to be 69. Okay. Now let's do this. Our 79 plus 88 equals 167. Divided by 2 gives us 83.5. So our upper quartile is going to be 83.5. So our third quartile, or upper quartile, is going to be 83.5. And our first quartile is 69. Okay? Not that difficult. But that's the most important part whenever we're trying to make our plot. So let's take a look, see if we can move on to making our plot. Yes, good. Now this one right here describes how to make the plot. Now I would recommend don't write all this stuff down, because this is the same thing as your definition that we just did a moment ago. I would write something like this down, the box with the dots, and label each dot so you know what each dot is. Okay? Now, if you notice, this dot right here, it says is our first quartile. Our median is right there in the middle. And our third quartile is that one right there. But we still have two other dots that it doesn't even tell us what they are. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you this dot right here, that's right. That's the lowest number in our data set. Okay? Whatever that number is, that goes right there in that first dot. And this dot right here, that's our largest number. Okay? So, once we have the first quartile, the median, and the third quartile, we can make our box. Okay? And then these two the two dots on the outside, the lowest number and the lowest number and the highest number, those are just the biggest and smallest numbers in your data set. Okay? So don't have to do anything to actually find those because those are going to be given to you. All right, let's take a look at our next one here. Oh, good gosh. All right, so let's find our arrange our information one more time. Let's see. We have 13, 15, 17, 19. We have two 19s, sure do. 21, 21, and 25. Yes, so that's all of our numbers there. Now we need to find our middle number, our third quartile, our first quartile, our median, and our largest and smallest values. So, yeah, we could do that. 13, easy enough. What's our biggest? Yeah, 25. Easy enough. All right, now let's find our median, which looks like, yeah, 19 plus 19 divided by 2, which kind of works out well for us because that's 19. Now, since there's not a true median, now we have to find our median for this set and our median for this set. Okay, so let's see. Our two middle numbers for this lower set is going to be 15 and 17. So what is our... Yeah, it's going to be 16, because if we add 15 plus 17 divided by 2, that gives us 16. Yeah, and the next one over here, that's kind of convenient also, because those are the same, so that's going to be 21. All right, so... I know, right? We have our... all of the data that we need right here. So we have our smallest value is 13, our largest value is 25, our first quartile is 16, our median is 19, and our third quartile is 21. Okay? Now let's go ahead, let's make our plot. Surely, yeah, good. We have all of our information right there. Now let's make our box and whisker plot. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is just make dots, okay? We're not going to try to make whiskers. We're not going to try to make a box or any of that stuff right off the bat. We're just going to put dots where they belong. Smallest value is 13. First quartile is 16. Median is 19. Third quartile is 21. And largest value is 25. Now, once we have all of our dots on there, now we can go back and make our box. Okay? We know that our box goes there because we know the box includes the median and the quartiles. Okay? That's our box right there. Now once we have that, we can go ahead and connect our whiskers to that, to our highest and lowest numbers. Okay? Yeah. Now you guys are going to be pretty much experts at making box and whisker plots. Okay? Any questions on how we did that? Now remember, the hardest part, I said the hardest part, is going to be finding your medians, your first quartile, your third quartile, and the median. But once you have that, actually creating the plot, that's the easy part.